Hello everyone, welcome to my civil engineering YouTube channel. Please subscribe to it and hit the bell icon to get notified when I post my new videos. So today I'll be discussing regarding stress strain diagram for a ductile and brittle material. So whenever we require to test a material for its stress strain behavior, we are going to test a material by using universal testing machine. So here you can just observe the two sketch figures here. So left hand side figure represents the overall view of the universal testing machine in the green color, which is the universal testing machine. So here these are the parts, the upper crosshead, and there is a space for the tensile specimen to be fixed. So this space is called as space for, so this is a space, you can just identify that. So that is a space for the specimen to be analyzed, which is to be put and then for tested. So this is the mobile cross head. So this is the space which is for the compressive testing. So this is the table, and then this one green color shows the load indicator, and this is the speed control machine. So here between the space for the between the wedge cribs, so here between the upper and the lower head of the universal testing machine, here you can just observe the specimen is fixed here. So here you can just observe the specimen is fixed here. So after the fixing of the specimen, these wedges will move opposite in direction, so which creates a pulling force in which results in elongation of the object, so which results in elongation of the object. So these force which creates the pulling force, so results in elongation of the object, so that it forms necking. So here you can just observe, this is the first sketch. It represents the initial, this is the initial form, this is the initial position of the view of the initial position, or it is a initial view of the object before the application of load. So here this is the after the application of load at the intermediate stage, this is the what the representation of the sketch, wherein you can just observe there is an increase in the dimension along the application of the load. So along this direction there is a increase in the length. Why? Because the direction of the load is along the length. And also you can just observe, with the increase in the length, there is also decrease in the dimension perpendicular to the application of the load, so which is called as necking. Necking here is nothing but the tensile deformation, which causes decrease in the dimension perpendicular to the direction of the load applied. So this is the concept of necking. So whenever, if I want to analyze the stress strain curve for the ductile material, so when we want to analyze the stress strain curve for the ductile material, so there are the 5 salient points here. So first one is called as elastic limit point. Second is the point B, which is upper yielding point. C is the lower yielding point. D is ultimate stress point, and E is the breaking stress point, or it is also called as failure point. So this is a typical stress strain diagram where stress is represented in the y-axis and strain in the x-axis. So here A represents the elastic limit point, B is the upper yield stress point, and lower yielding stress point is a C point, D is the ultimate stress point, and E is the breaking or the fracture point. So coming on to point A, it is the elastic limit point. It is also called as proportionality limit point. It is also called as proportionality limit point. So here the variation of stress is always proportional to the strain, and the variation is linear, so it obeys the Hooke's law here. So wherein stress is termed as proportionality limit stress, wherein the variation is always linear, so therefore the stress is also termed as proportionality limit stress here. So next point is called as upper yielding point here, that is point B. Here you can just observe stress is not proportional to strain. The variation of stress and strain is not linear here. Up to point A it was linear. So if the point A is crossed, the linearity variation will not be there. So therefore the variation between stress and strain is not linear, and the material starts to deform plastically. So with increase of the stress, strain also increases here. So plastic deformation is the one wherein if you apply the load on the object and if you remove the load, there will not be any change in, there will not be any regaining of the dimensions completely. Means, for example, if you apply the load, there will be deformation will be caused due to the application of the load. So if at all, if it is within the elastic limit, if you remove the load, then the change in the dimensions will be regained completely after the application, after the removal of the applied load. But if the material crosses a point A, that is elastic limit point, then or it is also called as proportionality point, in that case the material starts to yield. So therefore it is called as plastic point, wherein the stress will not be varied linearly, so that after the removal of the external load, the material will not regain its original shape and size completely. So this is the concept of plastic limit. So next is lower yielding point. Here the load, that is point C. So here the load remains constant, so stress decreases here. So you can just observe with reference to point B, point C is decreased. So stress will be decreased, but there will be increase in the strain here. So next is ultimate stress point. So this is also called, this is known as maximum stress point, wherein at point D, it is a point wherein the material can take up the maximum load before failure. This is a point wherein the material can take up the maximum load before failure. So this is also called as maximum stress point or ultimate stress point. So next is point E, wherein it is also called as failure point or rupture point, or it is also called as a breaking point. So wherein there is a complete rupture of the intermolecular bond and the strength of the material declines. So stress associated with this point is also called as rupture stress, failure stress, or it is also called as breaking stress. So next is stress strain behavior for a brittle material, for example glass. So only the two salient points you can just observe here. So one is A and another one is B. So with O, with the x-axis representation as strain and y-axis representation as stress. So at point A it is called as elastic limit point, wherein stress is directly proportional to strain and the variation is linear. And point B it is called as breaking point, wherein the material strength decreases, the bond breaks and failure of the material takes place. So this is the stress strain behavior for a brittle material as well as ductile material. So as in case of ductile material, there are 5 distinguished points. So as in case of brittle material, there are only 2 distinguished points. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe the videos. Thank you.